the different kinds of ashram. They followed Sharanagati, established by Mahadeshika.
Swamiji, we are not able to hear you. It's cutting off.
After 250 years, people started drifting in for whatever reason. There is no point in questioning who is right, who is wrong. Okay, this is an endless problem. For the past 750 years, the whole Vaishnavism of Ramanuja has split into two groups. One who follow the strict Vedic Sampradayam called Vadagalai Sampradayam, where even Pranavam, Om, is not chanted by those without Yajnapavitam. Even for them, Ashtakshara Mantram is given without Yajnapavitam people, Am Namo Narayanaya. The other people, they give Ashtakshara Mantram with Om to everyone. The second one, Vadagalai Sampradayam of Deshika, only has Sharanagati. Tengalai Sampradayam has only Samashrayanam. So it has split vertically into two. So now for propagating what is called Deshika Sampradayam, that with Samashrayanam and Sharanagati, that Samashrayanam is like your passport. We are all in India. We want to go abroad. So first you have to get a passport. When you get a passport, that means you are interested in going abroad. That doesn't mean America will admit you. So first getting a passport that you are interested in going abroad, Samashrayanam, you are accepting Vaishnava Diksha, indicating you are interested in going to Vaikuntham. Sharanagati is stamping your visa, your guaranteed admission. So Vadagala Sampradayam has both Samashrayanam and Sharanagati. And based on Mahatma Vedanta Deshika's teachings, the difference came primarily with regards to the status of Sri Mahalakshmi. That Sri Mahalakshmi is Paramatma, is the belief in Vadagala Sampradayam. That is why when we do Sharanagati, we first do Sharanagati to Mahalakshmi. And with her blessings only, we do Sharanagati at the feet of Lord Sriman Narayana. So this Vadagala Sampradayam, the first and the foremost one, as an authorized one to propagate the concept of Sharanagati, the first and the foremost one, the authorized way to propagate Sharanagati is called, the first ashramam is called Parakala Matam. Parakala, the great Tirumangai Alvar. So Parakala Matam right now is based in Mysore, headquarters. So first one is Parakala Matam. Parakala is Tirumangai Alvar. Tirumangai Alvar, who totally surrendered to Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. So Brahma Tantra Swami is the first one to become a sannyasi and propagate this concept. The next one to follow is the Ahobila Mata Sampradayam. In Vedanta Deshika's group, Ahobila Mata Sampradayam. There was a very young man, maybe 20 years old, called Srinivasa in Melkote, between Mysore and Bangalore. All of a sudden, he saw Lakshmi Nrsimha in his dream, who said, "Come to Ahobilam and take sannyasam and propagate Sharanagati." So, the Parakala Matam is already there. Parakala Matam is continuing Sharanagati. And literally, when Vedanta Deshika himself was still alive, was on the planet Earth, Parakala Matham was started. And they worshipped their prime deity as a Hayagriva. So this gentleman, Srinivasa, from Melkote, got a dream. He came to Ahobilam. This was some 650 years back. This was some 650 years back. He came to Ahobilam. We are talking about 650 years back, where there is no transportation. People has to go just walking all the way. And that time, there were lions and tigers roaming freely in Ahobilam. So, even the priests from lower Ahobilam, there's about 9 kilometers or so to go to upper Ahobilam. They wait until 10 a.m. Then they will start making some trumpets, making loud noise. 10-20 people in a group will go quickly, cook some prasadam, do aradhana, offer to Bhagavan. By evening 3 o'clock itself, close the temple and come downstairs, beating the drums and trumpets so that the wild animals will run away into the forest. So in such a situation, the Srinivasa goes all the way to Ahobilam, and there was practically nobody there. All around only lions and tigers. He was just there sitting near the Pushkarani and waiting and prayed to Bhagavan. Swami, you asked me to come. What am I to do? What am I to do? All of a sudden, there is a sannyasi appearing there near the Pushkarani. Asked him to come and said, okay, become sannyasi. Here is sannyas ashramam to you. Here is the kashayam. And all of a sudden, a vigraham called Malola, Lakshmi Narasimha, one of the Utsava Murtis, came jumping into his hands. So, all of a sudden, that Lakshmi Narasimha vigraham came, and that vigraham came with padukas. And he was asked to go take the vigraham round to all villages, towns, and propagate Sharanagati. So that is how from then onwards the Ahobila Matham was started by the first Jeeyar called Adivan Shatagopa, and the present Jeeyar is called the 46th Jeeyar. And Adiyan's Acharya is the 44th Jeeyar. Afterwards, after he is going to Vaikuntham, 45th, after he is going to Vaikuntham, 46th, like that. Then came Andavan Ashramam. In Srirangam, as the Ahobila Matham Acharyas were traveling, one of the local Mahatmas became a sannyasi, and the Andavan Ashramam was started to propagate Sharanagati. And presently, Andavan Ashramam headquarters is in Srirangam. And after some time, there is another ashramam called Poundarikapuram Andavan Ashramam. This is called Poundarikapuram Ashramam. Another Mahatma started. All of them follow exactly the same way of follow both the Samashrayanam and Sharanagati. All of them strictly follow that. Namely, Mahalakshmi is also Paramatma. First Sharanagati to Mahalakshmi. And all of them will give the fourth mantra also, Sri Mantram. So that is how the 4 ashramas have come. The principal ones. But there are many more like that as offshoots. In Gujarat, there are some people following the same Vadagalai Sampradayam, but with a local Acharya. In Bengal, there is one. In Rajasthan, there is one. In Nepal, there is one. So that's how we hear there are many people like that.
Yes.
So that is the answer to your question about the 4 ashramas.
Audience, Dhanyasmi Acharya. Acharya, now where like that Adivan Shatagopan Acharya's Lakshmi Narasimha, that idol Swamiji?
That Lakshmi Narasimha idol came flying from the Garbhagruham in Ahobilam to the hands of Adivan Shatagopa Jeeyar Swami. And from that time onwards, the principal deity of Ahobilam is Lakshmi Narasimha, called Ma Lola. Ma Mahalakshmi, Lola means husband. Okay?
Audience, Dhanyasmi Acharya, Narayana.
Sure.
Swamiji, can you explain what is Samashrayanam and what is Sharanagati?
Samashrayanam is like you are applying for a passport to go to Vaikuntham. Like you are applying for a passport to go to Vaikuntham. Samashrayanam is also called Pancha Samskaras. 5 samskaras. The 5 samskaras are called Tapa Mudra, having the heated Shankha Chakra mudras on the shoulders. That is the first one. Second one is accepting the Dasa Namam. Like say Mala Ramanujadasi. Mala Ramanujadasi. Or Mala Dasi. Indicating we are always servants of Narayana and servants of the great Acharya Ramanuja. The second one. Third one is having the Urdhva Pundram. Men folk having the 12 Urdhva Pundrams, Tilakam on their forehead, the 2 feet of Narayana with white clay, and in the center the yellow one, the feet of Mahalakshmi. Ladies will have only one, a small V-shaped Narayana Padas and a long line of yellow Sri Churnam. Some people use red also. So Urdhva Pundra Dharanam. That is the third one. Fourth one is the Mantropadesham. Getting Acharya will instruct the students doing Samashrayanam the 4 great mantras. The first one, the 8 letters Ashtakshara Mantram. Second one, Dvaya Mantram, also called Sharanagati Mantram. Third one, Charama Shlokam. Fourth one, Sri Mantram. That is the 4th step. 5th step is how to do Aradhana. Acharya will instruct. These 5 things put together is called Samashrayanam or Pancha Samskaras. Pancha means 5. Samskaras means purificatory procedures. Then Sharanagati. Sharanagati is actually obtaining the visa. Just as you become a citizen of America, where the immigration officer administers the oath to an applicant who wanted to become a citizen of America. So, the immigration officer administers the oath and the applicant will repeat that from today his loyalty is only to United States. Same way, the Acharya administers the oath of Sharanagati, that our loyalty is only to Sriman Narayana and his incarnations, and that we'll worship only Sriman Narayana and his incarnations. And just as the immigration officer stamps saying that this person took the oath, pledging his loyalty only to United States, then the State Department will send you the passport. Same way, the Acharya administers the oath of Sharanagati, that our loyalty is only to Sriman Narayana, and recommends to his Acharya to all the way to Sriman Narayana. And at the time of leaving this body, the Jivatma is guaranteed salvation. That is called Sharanagati. One is called the passport, another is called the visa. So Sharanagati literally means pledging our 100% loyalty to Sriman Narayana. That is called Sharanagati. Very briefly. Is that clear, Ma?
Yes, Swamiji. Thank you.
Go ahead. And Padma asked 13th chapter, 24th verse. Let me see. 13th chapter, 24th verse. Ya evam vetti purusham prakritinja gunai saha sarvada vartamanopi nasa bhuyaha abhijayate. First thing, we should understand who is that Purusha. Unfortunately, many people write so many things. Even the other day, I wanted to tell her. Some lady put that in the Sharanagati group or something, chanting group or something. Namely, Ramanavami is like, Rama the body, Sita the Atma wedding. That is not correct. Rama is not the body. Rama is Paramatma. As Bhagavan himself says, in the 15th chapter, Dvavimau Purushavloke Ksharascha Ksarayevacha Ksharas Sharvani Bhutani Kutasto Akshara Uchyate Uttama Purushastvanyah Paramatme Chudahutaha Yo Lokatrayamavishya Vibharti Avyayaha Ishvaraha Yasmakshara Matitoham Akshadadapi Chottamaha Atosmi Loke Vedecha Prasitaha Purushottamaha. So that is how he is called Purushottama. So he is the only one who is qualified to be called as Purusha. And of course, in our Sampradayam, Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam, which one you asked, Ma? Padma, you asked, Ya evam veti purusham jnani nasan pashyanti.
24th.
I know there is the 24th one difference because 13th chapter is one extra verse that is added recently. So what is the meaning of the verse? Ya evam veti purusham or jnani natmani?
Dhyane natmani.
Yeah, then it is 25th actually, the new version. Okay, jnani natmani pashyanti. Okay, let's look at the 24th also, namely Purusha. Ya evam veti purusham prakritinja gunai saha. So if we can realize the self and the prakriti along with the three gunas, sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna, then we will not take birth again. And whatever be the state that person is in, be that in the body of a god or a human, an animal or a plant or a tree, we will not take birth if we can realize Paramatma like that. Because for the Jivatma, for the self, there is no birth, there is no death. The soul having birth means the soul accepting a body. Soul doesn't take birth because the soul never dies. Soul accepts a birth to experience the karma phala. So even though we are going through the karma phalam in this body like an imprisoned soul, either in the body of a god or a human being, we will not get another birth because we get enlightened. We get enlightened that the self is not the body. Body is different, self is different. But unfortunately, the souls in the body of animals and plants, they don't get enlightenment. Only when the soul is there in the body of a human being or that of a god, then it can try for salvation, enlightenment. Because there is no enlightenment, the souls that are represented in the bodies of animals, birds, snakes, plants, trees, in that life they don't attain salvation. Once their karma is over in that life, when they come to the body of a human being or God, then they will try for that enlightenment about the true nature of self, the true nature of the body, and the true nature of Paramatma. Then they will be getting salvation. The Prakriti means it is made up of the 5 elements: the earth, the water, the fire, air, and the ether, Akasha. And the 5 elements have their marks of identification. They are identified with certain things. Namely, the earth is identified with its smell. The water is identified with its taste. The fire is identified that we can see the form. The air is identified with the touch. And the ether, Akasha, is identified with the sound. So these are called the 5 tanmatras. And these 5 tanmatras are experienced by the 5 jnanendriyas, the 5 sense organs. The smell is identified by the nose. The taste is identified by the tongue. The form is identified by the eyes. The touch is identified by the skin. And the sound is identified by the ears. So, these things form Prakriti. Actually, Prakriti is consisting of the 5 elements. And the 5 elements have their qualities as tanmatras. And the tanmatras are experienced by the 5 sense organs. Now comes the next one. Dhyanena atmani pashyanti. Kechit atmanam atmana. Anye sankhyena yogena. Karma yogena chapare. Some expert practitioners of yoga will realize the self in the body through meditation. For meditation, they use the mind in a pure condition. Some others try to realize the self through the practice of yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga. And some try to attain through Karma Yoga. Dhyanena atmani pashyanti, kechit atmanam atmana. Some people by Anye Sankhyena Yogena, Karma Yogena chapare. So in this verse, the Atma is mentioned 3 times. Dhyanena atmani pashyanti, kechit atmanam atmana. Dhyanena atmani pashyanti. Atmani. Atmani means in the body. Then atmanam atmana. Atmanam, the self, the soul. Atmana, with the help of a pure mind. So even though it is called as Atma, the Atma word has 3 different meanings in this verse. In pure philosophical terms, in the Ramanuja way of explaining, Ramanuja Bhashyam. Atmani, in the body. Atmana, the self. Atmana, with the help of a pure mind. The best example, King Janaka. Janaka is a well-known practitioner of pure Karma Yoga. Even though we say Karma Yoga includes Jnana Yoga also. Jnana Yoga is already embedded in that Karma Yoga. So a Jnani realizes the soul and the super soul in all the bodies. Jnani is not confined only to Jnanam of the soul. They will try to realize the super soul also in every body. The super soul is there in every body as Paramatma. Ishvaraha sarvabhutanam hrideshajna tishtati. This verse cannot be misconstrued. Oh, even if you follow Sankhya Yoga, you will get moksha. No. Jnana Yoga, self-realization is different from God realization. Self-realization, Atmanubhavam. God realization, Paramatmanubhavam. We should not even say God realization, Bhagavat Anubhavam. Bhagavan realization. God can be misinterpreted again as any of the other Devi Devatas. So Bhagavat Anubhavam. One is Atmanubhavam, another is Paramatmanubhavam. Instead of God, using the word Bhagavan, who is also called Paramatma. One is Atmanubhavam, another is Paramatmanubhavam. So how we have to understand this? Some expert practitioners of yoga will realize the self in the body, Atmani. Atmanam, through meditation. Atmana, with the help of a pure mind. Indicating some practitioners of yoga will realize the self, Atmanam, Atmani, that is in the body, Atmana, with the help of the mind, with the help of a pure mind. Could you see the three words? Atmani, Atmanam, Atmana. Atmani. Some expert practitioners of yoga will realize Atmani, the self in the body. Will realize the self Atmani in the body. Atmana, with the help of a pure mind. Atmanam means the self. Expert practitioners of yoga will realize the self Atmanam, will realize the self Atmani, that is there in the body. How? Atmana, with the help of a pure mind. So don't confuse between the three Atmas. Not all three Atmas. The suffixes are very important. Atmani, in the body. Atmanam, the self. Atmana. Atmana means with the help of pure mind. Is that clear, Ma? Some expert practitioners of yoga will experience Atmanam, the self, Atmani, that is in the body, Atmana, with the help of a pure mind. Is that clear, Ma?
Yes, sir.
So we cannot confuse that, even if you practice any yoga, you will get, no, there's a difference between self-realization and Paramatma. Atmanubhavam is different from Paramatmanubhavam. Go ahead, Ma. Next question, Ma.
So we have to follow Dharma in order to practice Vaishnavism. But how do we know that everything we're doing is following Dharma?
How do we know?
How do we know all of the correct Dharma?
You have to elaborate a little more now.
For example, like we should not be eating like onion, garlic, and eggs and all of those. That's Dharma relating to food. But like other things relating to our life and all, we can see in like the stories and all, we can take examples. But for example, say we don't know everything and we mispractice the Dharma. Will we be punished? How do we know all the Dharma we need to do?
Okay. Now I understand, Amma. Now I understand where you are coming to, where you are coming from. Very simple, Amma. When you are there, a 5-year-old kid, you do not know anything. But once you start going to school, they will introduce the subject little bit. First, the small words. First, the alphabet, A, B, C, D. Then small words. Then small sentences. Then big sentences. Then they will introduce you math, the numbers. Then the addition. Once the first thing is numbers, then they will teach you addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. They will introduce you signs. As you go from one grade to the next grade, the syllabus will change. You will be coming to the next level. That's how you learned math, that's how you learn physics, that's how you learn medicine, engineering, etc. Dharma also the same. As you make progress in spiritual life, you will approach different teachers. You will learn Bhagavad Gita, you will learn Upanishads, you will learn Brahma Sutras. One by one, you will learn. And by the time you start with Bhagavad Gita, you study some Upanishads or know the meaning of some Upanishads. And then you try to understand the meaning of the Brahma Sutras. That's how you will learn. In the beginning, everybody is there at the same stage. They don't know anything. But slowly, they will start learning the ABCD, the alphabet, then the little words, then small sentences. First, they see the numbers, they learn the numbers. From numbers, they go to the next level, addition, subtraction. Then they go to complicated equations, etc. Same way you learn about Dharma also. But if you stop your education with 5th grade, you will only know up to addition, multiplication, division. Only if you come to higher level, you will know geometry, you will know trigonometry, like that. Same thing about Dharma also. Is that clear, Amma?
Yes, Swamiji, Narayana.
So we have to constantly strive. Those people who are interested in spiritual matters, the whole life is an education for them. They will never stop. They will never say, I know enough, let me not study anymore. Go ahead, my next question.
One quick question. So in the self-realization, especially in the Buddhism and all, they call nirvana. That is not moksha then, right?
Let's not touch the subject, Amma, because let's not get into unnecessary complications by touching all those subjects.
Oh, okay, Swami.
Because there are people there who just want to find fault with others. So it is better If some people believe in nirvana, let them believe. If some people believe in self-realization, let them believe. As far as we are concerned, let us confine to the personal form of God, namely Sagunopasana. Let us talk only about ourselves. It is almost like it is not for us to say whether your daughter should do engineering, medicine, pharmacy, architecture, music, drama. It's not for us. If your child is interested, let her make progress in that field. If you go and ask a medical doctor, he'll say, oh, send your daughter to a medical school, that is a good subject. If you go to a pharmacist, he will tell you, send your daughter to a pharmacy college, pharmacy is a good subject. If you ask a businessman, he'll say, send your daughter to business school, business is good. But remember, all these things are different aspects of education. But when it comes to salvation, moksha, the great Acharya, Bhagavad Ramanuja has given Sharanagati. So let us focus on that. Other people believe in nirvana, let them believe. We should not worry what they believe in. Other people believe in self-realization, fine. Some people believe in Nirguna Parabrahma, fine. Some people believe in Devi Devatas, fine. But Krishna in Bhagavad Gita did not accept any of these things. The highest, he said, is Srinija, 12th chapter, 5th verse. Can you tell them? 12th chapter, 5th verse, Srinija.
I don't remember, Swamiji.
Can you go and then look at Bhagavad Gita and see?
Yes, Swamiji. Tesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hikte dukkam dehavabhirvapyate.
That's it. That's why I wanted you to read them. Padma, you want to say the meaning of the Tamil? Padma, are you there?
Adi.
What is the meaning of that Kleshavadika Tarastesham Avyakta Sakta Chetasam?
Avyaktahi Dehavat Piravapyate.
వాళ్ళు ఊరికి వచ్చేసి పంట లేదు, అది లేదు, నాకు ఆ పాటలు ఉన్నా, నాకు బ్లౌజ్ ఉన్నా, నాకు మ్యాచింగ్ ఉందా, ఉంటుంది చేసుకుని వాళ్ళ రకాలు వాళ్ళు మహాలక్ష్మి చీరలు ఉన్న వాటిలో తీసుకుంటా ఉంటే హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్లో వస్తారు. షూర్ చేస్తారు. కెన్ హెల్ప్
I'm thinking of doing a Sri Suktam Havan on Akshay Tritiya.
Akshay Tritiya morning? Okay. Can you wait for upstairs? I'll come there in a few minutes.
No problem.
Just wait upstairs. I'm in a class now. I'll come down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
In half an hour, I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Amma. Go ahead, Padma. Krishna specifically says, Avyaktahi gatir dukkham deha vadbhiravapyate. Padma, are you there? Hello?
Adi.
This is the 5th verse in the 12th chapter, Ma.
Yes, dear. Little bit I can. Swamiji, the meaning is that the one you said, Nirguna Brahma Upasana is not for everybody. It's hard, actually. But when you have Krishna in mind and his Leelas in mind, Sharanagati and Sharanagati is easier than all these Upasanas.
Okay. Well, literally the meaning of that verse, Kleshavadika Tarastesham Avyakta Sakta means, if you are attached to the Nirguna form of worship, that is the Advaita way of worship, that Bhagavan doesn't have a form, your difficulties are more. Klesha Adhika Tarastesha. You will have lot of difficulties in realizing Bhagavan if you follow the impersonal form of the Lord. That Bhagavan doesn't have a form. He is nirguna. Avyaktahi gatir dukkham. If you follow that nirguna way of worship, you may end up in misery, dukkham. Avyaktahi gatir dukkham. Dehavadbhiva apyate. So for people who are endowed with the body, Krishna doesn't recommend. That's all. But there are many people, 90% of the Indian population follow the Advaita way, the Nirguna way, the Shankaracharya's way of worship, etc. That is their prerogative. It is hardly 10% of the people who believe in the personal form of the Lord, Sagunopasana. Sagunopasana is called either the Bhakti Marga or the Sharanagati Marga. That Bhagavan has a form. That the physical form of Krishna is none other than Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. The physical form of Rama is none other than Sriman Narayana. So that is the Sagunopasana. That even in Vaikuntham, Bhagavan Sriman Narayana is not Nirguna, is a Saguna. That Bhagavan Sriman Narayana in Sri Vaikuntham is manifested as Narayana with the Shankam, Chakram, Gada, Padmam, etc. With the Shankha Chakra, Gada, Padmas, etc. The Kshira Sagaram is real. The Shweta Dvivam is real. Adisesha is real. Bhagavan eternally on the bed of Adisesha is real. Bhagavan has a physical form. That is called Sagunopasana. And it is Narayana who incarnates. As Krishna himself says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. Tadatmanam srujamyaham. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkutam dharma samsthapanadhyaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Is this Sagunopasana? Is this Sagunopasana? Nirgunopasana, Bhagavan doesn't have form. That is filled with the difficulties according to Krishna. But still, if you want to follow, Krishna doesn't stop you. Because Krishna says, Yadhechasi tadha kuru. Do whatever you feel. So this nirvana, etc., they're all different philosophical approaches. But Krishna actually recommends at the end, as a Charva Shlokam, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. That Mam itself is Sagunopasana. Ekam is Pativrata Bhakti. Sharanam Vraja is the means, Sharanagati is the means of attaining Paramatma. Attaining Paramatma means attaining Sri Vaikuntham. Attaining Sri Vaikuntham means Janma Rahichyam. Because even if you go to the highest world, Brahmalokam, you will come back and take birth. Mamapechati kaunteya punarjanma navijyate. Therefore, Mam, by the word Mam, Krishna says resort to Sagunopasana. Ekam indicates maintain Pativrata Bhakti. Sharanam Braja. Sharanam is the upaya, means the means of attaining that Krishna. Vraja means you do it. We have to do that Sharanagati. When people say, oh, when Bhagavan wills, that will happen, that is not right. We have to take the first step. That's what Krishna wants. Therefore, let us not get into the complicated subjects, nirvana, etc. They may look good, but Krishna doesn't say any of those things. Krishna doesn't recommend. So let's not worry about that. Is that clear, Mother?
Yes, Swamiji, yes.
Yeah, there are so many societies. Why not? So many people are there. Why not? But Krishna says, Kleshodhika tarastesha. That path is filled with difficulties. So let's not worry about those paths. Go ahead, Amma. What next I can help you? Hey, Amma, what next I can help you, Amma? Questions, Amma, please. Clarify whatever. Srinija, go ahead, Amma. Without insurance to the Jivatma. Okay? Without insurance to the Jivatma. Jivatma is the driver. Body is the car. Okay, somebody is driving a car. The car is going at 100 miles per hour. Policeman will stop. Policeman will say, sir, you are driving at 100 miles per hour. You are going at 100 miles. Suppose we tell the policeman, sir, I am only sitting in the car. It is the car that is going at 100 miles per hour. I am only sitting. But still, it is, even though it is the car that is moving at 100 miles per hour, it is the driver who gets the ticket and who has to pay the fine. So even though the body is doing all the actions, the karma phalam has to be experienced by the jivatma, by the soul. Therefore, when you do that sharanagati, all the negative karma, all the papas, Krishna says, I will forgive. And he will relieve us from all sins and we will be getting salvation. If we don't attain salvation, as Krishna says, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrutyuhu dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Again birth, again death, again birth, again death. Go ahead, Supriya, you have some questions, Supriya. Supriya, questions semina unnaya? No? Gagan, you are a little boy. How are you? Any questions, Gagan? No? Go ahead.
Narayana Swami, Anirudh, how many days did it take Lord Ganesha to write the Mahabharata?
What is it? How many days?
How many days did it take Lord Ganesha to write the Mahabharata?
They did not write how many days it took a year. Vedavyasa was dictating and Ganesha was writing. That's all we know. It is not mentioned how many days. Or I did not come across.
Okay, Swami.
So it doesn't matter to you how many days. The most important topic in Bhagavad Gita is Mahabharata is Bhagavad Gita. So you better try to learn Bhagavad Gita and follow Bhagavad Gita and Krishna will bless you. Okay?
Okay. Dhanwad.
Vaikuntha Gadyam.
No, you are asking a vague question, Mala. If you are really serious about Vaikuntha Gadyam, read Vaikuntha Gadyam, ask a specific line, I will explain you. If you say, tell us about Vaikuntha Gadyam, if you don't mind, Mala, you know what exactly that means to me? Since I have to ask you something, I'm asking a vague question, Vaikuntha Gadyam. So say something. That's not right. If you are really serious about Vaikuntha Gadyam, read the Vaikuntha Gadyam. Bring about a line that you don't understand. That is the right way to learn Amma. Go back to Supriya, you remember what Krishna said? Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. You may be wondering why I am always saying, what are your questions? What are your questions? Because that is what Krishna asked me to do. Krishna says, pariprashnena sevaya. Those people who are interested in learning will serve the Acharya and will keep on asking the questions. Only when they ask the questions, the teacher will know how far they are interested. And depending on their interest, upadekshantite jnanam. Then the teacher will do the upadesham of what is jnanam. Are you following me, Mala?
Yes, Swamiji.
Therefore, if you have a specific question, yes.
No, the specific question that I have around this is, some people say, who has seen Vaikuntham? How can you tell about Vaikuntham? So somebody told me that there is Vaikuntha Gadyam where it is written about it. So that is why I had this question of what is this?
Elaborate a little bit more on that.
So this is to answer. We say that with Sharanagati we will be going, all is guaranteed Vaikuntham. And we all say how Vaikuntham is. We have learned in a lot of discourses by you how Vaikuntham is and how you will be living there, right? So people ask, who has seen Vaikuntham? How can you tell about it?
Ask them. Hey, look here. You bring any software engineer. All their things are called electronics and communication engineering. Did any of them see an electron any time? No. But they see the effect of the electrons. When you turn on the switch, the light glows. When you turn on the switch, the fan moves. When you turn on the switch, the air conditioner is working. Same way, you will experience. Now coming back to your question. So if they really want to see, let them not stop with BTech. Let them go to PhD. When they go to PhD, to see an electron, first you need an electron microscope. When you acquire a microscope, you can see that. So without even acquiring a microscope, how can they see? Same thing here. If they want to see Vaikuntham, let them come out of their 10th grade level. Let them come to BA level. Let them come to PhD level. Only when they come to PhD level, they will have access. They will have access to the microscope. Then they will see. So people also the same way. If they want to experience Bhagavan, if they want to see Bhagavan, if they want to experience Sri Vaikuntham, let them do Sharanagati. Then they will experience. What they are asking, I want to remain in the 10th grade itself, but get me a microscope. Show me an electron. Show me an electron. First of all, at the 10th grade level, even when they see a particle, they will not even understand that it is an electron. First, they should understand what is the nature of an electron. First, they should understand what is the size of an electron. First, they should understand what are the theoretical implications of an electron. Then they should understand how the electron behaves. Then only when they see that, they will appreciate it. Otherwise, you show them, you know what they say, this professor has shown me just something that looks like a small dot, that looks like a small glow, and he calls it electron. Because they don't even know how the electron behaves. Are you getting my point, Mala?
Yes, Swamiji.
So let them do some study. Let them have the fundamentals. Okay, if suppose your daughter, tomorrow she goes to medical school. Your daughter, tomorrow she goes to medical school. And if she goes and tells the professor, hey, look here, sir, I want to become a neurosurgeon. I don't want to go through all this crap. I don't want to go through anatomy. I don't want to go through physiology. I don't want to go through pharmacology, microbiology. Take me directly to the operating room. Okay, I will open the brain. Oh, I will identify the cancer cells. I'll start cutting the brain. You know, first what the professor will say? Hello, first complete your coursework. Pass the exams, anatomy, physiology, microbiology, pharmacology, etc. Then do some residency. Then do some general surgery. Then we will ask you to come to neurosurgery and open the brain. Just because yesterday you joined a medical school, that doesn't mean day after tomorrow you will be going to the operating room and opening up the brain. What our people want is, first thing, they don't even want to take MCAT. They don't even want to take the entrance exam. They don't even want to get admission. And even if they take the entrance exam in medical school, the next day itself they want to become neurosurgeons. It is not possible. But believe. Yes, you will believe. Come step 1. Verses from Bhagavad Gita. Step 3. Mala, your practice it. Change your behavior. Change your sleeping habits. Change your eating habits. Change your social habits. Because your whole personality has to change to understand. Look at the people who do residency. As students, you will go only to 8 hours per day school. But as residents, they will work 30 hours, 36-hour shifts at a stretch. Their sleeping habits have to change. Their eating habits have to change. In between, what little they get, they grab and they eat. In between, half an hour they get free time, they take a nap. They don't say, I want to sleep 8 hours while doing a residency. Their duty is 36-hour shift. Morning, 6 o'clock they start. Then tomorrow evening only they go home. From today morning till tomorrow morning, 24 hours. And another 12 hours till tomorrow evening. Then only they go 36 hours they shift. They work at a time in a shift. If they say, no, I don't want to do this residency. I want to have my 8 hours sleep every day. It's not possible. Your sleeping habits have to change. Your eating habits have to change. If you say, no, I want an elaborate dinner to be served and I want to sit at the dining table for 1 hour, it's not possible. Just grab a sandwich. In between, when you have 2 minutes, you try to bite. That's all. So our whole profile have to change. Same thing here. We are accepting to become a doctor. You have to take MCAT entrance exam. You have to complete the coursework. You have to do the residency. You have to change your sleeping habits, eating habits. Same thing. Tell them to experience Bhagavan. Let everything change. Then definitely you will understand. Got it, Mala?
Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah. Okay, Ma. They are calling upstairs, Ma. But please, tomorrow's class, join. But please, Gagan, Srinaja, join with a couple of questions. Himabindu, join with a couple of questions. Please ask. Then only I'll be able to explain you in a better way. Narayana.